Hello, denizens of the universe. I'm the Romance Scrooge, and joining me today is...
I saw nobody. There's a
Weird.
spider next to my mic.
Oh, fun. What kind of spider is it?
I don't know. Small house.
Well, spider aside, we are going to be discussing some of the episodes from the 2 weeks worth of episode premieres of Steven Universe. 2 weeks! 2 full weeks. That's something. Usually it's a Steven bomb. It's a week long. And then year-long hiatus. Another week of new episodes. Year-long hiatus.
And 2 weeks to come. 2 weeks down, 2 to go.
And then year-long hiatus.
At least it's not as bad as the Gravity Falls hiatuses.
Oh, that's true.
We'd get like one episode and then who knows.
When the next Gravity Falls episode would premiere. The biggest mystery next to what that little detail in the background that was only there for 3 seconds is.
Oh, I love that explanation someone drew, like a comic, or Alex Hirsch is going into the programming office, and a Disney exec is just like playing darts. He's like, hold on, let me just get back to you on your scheduling.
To their credit, though, it was pretty clever to have the finale premiere on February 15th, I think it was. It was the inverse of when Gravity Falls first premiered, so definitely got to give credit there.
Either that or that was probably Hirsch's plan the whole time. I mean, he is orchestrating this cipher hunt.
Yeah, the Gravity Falls madness never ends. All right, going to shift back to Steven Universe now. And I'm looking at the chronological order of these episodes.
Stephen Floats, Drop Beat Dad, Mr. Greg, Too Short to Ride, The New Lars, Beach City Drift, Restaurant Wars, Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service, Monster Reunion, Alone at Sea, and Greg the Babysitter.
All right. Let's start with Drop Beat Dad.
Marty returns.
Yay! Everybody's favorite.
And the fan theories are true. He is Sour Cream's dad.
And we got to see the moment that Sour Cream was conceived in the back of Mr. Universe's van.
Let me drive my van into your heart.
Oh God.
I have 2 notes on that episode. First is when I had to rewatch it, but the first time I watched it, I noticed that Marty never called Sour Cream's son. I mean, there was that moment when he said father-son bonding time, but he never actually meant it in terms of Sour Cream, just a general, because it's a general phrase, but he never calls Sour Cream his son. He's always like SC or kid, or he gives him a little nickname, but he just never calls him his son.
Oh, wow. That says a lot.
But I do have to give Marty credit. He did use a meme properly.
How so?
This is the concert venue? What is it? So small. What is this? A concert for ants?
I am not familiar with that meme, but then again, I'm not really familiar with meme culture in general.
It is a reference to a line in Zoolander where Ben Stiller's character was seeing like a diagram of this museum that was supposed to be dedicated to him, and he's like, what is this, a museum for ants?
Okay.
And they really used that meme whenever Ant-Man was coming out. Like they had little tiny billboards and stuff. Like, what is that, a billboard for ants?
Oh my God.
But it's like, this is how you properly use a meme on a children's TV show or just in general. It's not supposed to be the joke. It's supposed to be natural within conversation. It's something that the writers of the new any reboot series really should learn.
No me gusta!
Yeah.
As if it wasn't obvious enough. There's a reason why I'm not a comedian. That's why. I ruin jokes.
It was a joke that was already ruined.
Okay, any other notes on Drop Beat Dad? Marty is a scumbag, Yellowtail is awesome, and Greg gets a $10 million check at the end. That's why before discussing any other episodes, it's essential to point out why Marty was there in the first place, aside from trying to con Sour Cream in on helping him advertise something. In other words, getting free music out of his biological son, and trying to pawn off this crappy tasting soda. His big purpose for
Guac-Cola. Not even good on chips.
Ugh.
As someone who doesn't really like guacamole, I don't really see the appeal. Bleh. But still, it's nice that Greg actually got something.
True that. This has been pretty organically woven into the setup and storyline for the show so far. I noticed somebody's post and they pointed out something really significant about how the writers have been handling Greg's newfound fortune or wealth. Usually when a character gets obscenely rich, they become a complete jerk.
Just like Ron Stoppable did whenever he got his royalty checks for the Nako.
Yep, pretty much. Blew all their money in one episode, and then learned to be a humble guy at the end. This didn't happen for Greg, thankfully. And it would have been a complete turnaround or completely out of character moment for him if it had. This makes more sense. He's a pretty easygoing fella. He rolls with the punches pretty much, adapts as things come along. Him being rich, he seems pretty happy with the car wash and living in the back of his van. He hasn't really changed that. Just gets nice stuff every once in a while.
I guess that also ties to the philosophy that when you've grown up or if you've lived long enough poor and you know what it's like, even if you get a whole bunch of money, some people tend to live the same way. Because it's like, well, I'm happy this way, and having a whole bunch of money just means I can live easier this way. I mean, if I was to get a whole slew of money, I'd still live where I'm living. I'd just pay off my debts, which currently the ones is just my student loans, which I need to actually go back to school to finish that, and then pay my mom's debts off, get a new car, and then just keep the rest of the money for rent and food, and that's it. And still keep my job.
That'd be the ideal right there. It's just refreshing to see a cartoon cover the idea of somebody getting the kind of wealth some people think about and doing so in a way that I honestly think most people would. Well, if they're humble like Greg anyway, that's what I meant. It's just nice to see a different kind of take on this particular trope or setup.
Yeah, because a lot of lottery winners usually, I think they let the fanfare get to their head.
Yo. Okay, so there's always a grain of truth to this stuff. I'm just saying it's nice to see a different take on the trope.
True. So points to slight originality.
Yep, pretty much. All right, going to transition into talking about Mr. Greg.
The first musical episode.
I'm surprised it took this long to get a full-blown Steven Universe musical.
Yeah, and whilst I do like the episode, I kind of feel like it really could have been like a half-hour special.
Yes. I wish it'd been stretched out that long.
Yeah, because rewatching it, it's kind of a bit rushed in the sense of it starts off with Greg's song. It's like, don't cost nothing. And then we go over to Mr. Greg, and then it's over, isn't it? And then Steven's song. And then a reprise of all of them.
I would have liked to see a bit more build up and transition between Mr. Greg and It's Over, Isn't It? Because if you look at Pearl's particular musical number, it is very substantial to her character. It's a huge part. There's been a lot of hints, and it's even been confirmed that Rose and Pearl used to be together. This is the big defining moment, or some kind of reflection on her part.
Yeah.
It's a high point, pretty much.
Also, I'd like to point out that the episode Mr. Greg is Pearl's life-changing Zuko moment with Greg. Maximum capacity was amethysts, and Keystone Motel was garnet.
That's very true.
So now we just need one with Peridot and I guess another one with Lapis.
Yeah, the other one with Lapis, we'll get to that one.
Although it's kind of like a lot of, I guess most people assume that Greg the babysitter would have been Greg and Peridot, but I actually like the way the episode came out. So
some people were guessing it'd be Greg and Onion.
Or Greg and Connie.
That would have been an interesting setup.
Yeah, because Greg could have taken Connie and Steven to someplace, an amusement park that doesn't have accidents happening every once in a while. And apparently one employee.
Okay, want to make any other comments about Mr. Greg?
I really wish certain music websites would update so that way I can get those songs on my iPod.
Wonder if they have those on iTunes or something. I'm horrible at keeping tabs on that kind of thing.
I doubt it. I've just been going to this World of Steven Universe thing. Of course, they haven't updated for a while. It's like, they don't even have jam buddies.
Seriously?
I know.
Release a CD with all the Steven Universe songs on them.
I know. It would be really awesome as if, actually, what would be awesome is now that Greg has all this money. I mean, I also love the fact that at the end of that episodes after Mr. Greg show that Greg still has money, still has a good deal of money because he didn't blow all of it in that one episode. And so something that would be very nice to see is if he bought or rented, or I don't know, either bought or rented out a studio-like empty place and then finished that one album he's been working on, Water Witch.
Yeah, there never really was follow-up on that. Why doesn't Greg get his own studio space and start professionally recording his stuff if he doesn't already?
And then Cartoon Network could kind of do like a cross-promotional real-life thing with an actual CD. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
And then like a duet between Greg and Steven.
Yes.
And then like the songs are mostly would probably be Crystal Gym themed or just whatever. I don't know. Like some of the songs that Greg's already sang along with new ones.
I'd like to see a song based on the title Water Witch. That'd be kind of interesting. Like a song from the perspective of the Beach City citizens or people who didn't know what was going on with Lapis, seeing this great big wall of water, or even seeing her from a distance. It'd be kind of terrifying and unnerving. Maybe have it start out with minor chords and then segue into something a bit more peaceful. as Greg discovers who Lapis really is and her side of the story and stuff, something like that. Or maybe I'm getting a bit too ambitious with this particular hypothetical.
Well, she's a riptide queen and she's super mean.
Actually, yes, our pal, that'd be fantastic. If Greg brought in Lapis for a duet for Water Witch.
Or it'd be like Greg singing a part, and then Lapis coming in as the Water Witch, and then like eventually they go in and sync their vocals as best they can.
Yes.
Although a funny headcanon I have for like the whole Greg's new album and stuff, like it releases and it does really well online and stuff, but the most popular song is Steven's.
I kind of like that personally. I don't think Greg would necessarily be too upset about that, though. He'd probably take it in stride and say, "Hey, Stu Ball, you're a star.
You're a star now. All right. Well, at least one of us is making it.
Hey, technically you did sell that cheese or hamburger jingle for like $10 million. That's...
Well, Marty sold that.
Yeah, but that's still no small feat. $10 million for a hamburger jingle. It may not be the original intent of a song, but...
At the moment the meat hits the flames. I started laughing when I first played. I'm just like, really? Out of all the songs Greg has,
Rose would have loved it.
This is what did it? Hamburgers? Well, it wasn't about hamburgers at first.
That's kind of sad to think about. It is one of his most powerful, heartfelt songs. The one that drew Rose to look at him and go, "Oh my God, who is this human? I must know more about him." And it becomes this cornball hamburger jingle. That's the entire joke, and it's great.
Pepe's Burgers.
He's popping up everywhere now, isn't he?
Yeah. And once again, a proper way to use a meme. Someone bringing up Garnet singing a track on Craig's new album.
Yes.
I think Estelle might be down with that. Yeah, and then mentioning that Greg should buy a house, but Greg's fine with the van. Yeah, even though I've, like, for the longest time I slept on a couch, and I was fine with that, and even now that I have a bed, I still sleep like I'm sleeping on the couch. It's just, I'm fine sleeping like that. So I guess Greg just got comfortable with the van. He's just used to it. And that's not that bad, as long as he's happy.
Nice pun right there. Steven would be Guns and Roses. But Naphtali Torres. All right. Too Short to Ride.
Peridot episode.
Yep.
I think we all predicted that it would have been something to do with Peridot. Although, actually, I think most of us predicted that it was going to be another Stevani episode, like Steven and Connie fused to Stevani just to ride a ride.
That was my initial prediction. I wasn't necessarily disappointed with what happened, though.
True, and it does add a bit more to Peridot's character. Her new magnetism power, her new iPad, and her new husbando.
Yes, Peridot has a thing for grays. I've been loving some of the fan art that's been floating around. There was one that showed Peridot sitting across the table looking romantically at that plush. Just
Like, just imagine Lapis, like, hearing voices, like Peridot's voice, like she's talking to someone, and then she, like, Lapis flies down, looks in the barn, and there's Peridot having a romantic dinner with the gray. Lapis's face just like, what?
Oh, sorry about that, Sky. Usually have to remind me about some stuff 2 or 3 times before it sticks. Sorry about that. On the note of Peridot, she's not going to end up with Lapis or Amethyst. It's going to be the alien plush or an actual gray.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Our pal, that's something I kind of wanted to bring up. Peridot bringing up that as an Era 2 Peridot, she lacks some of the features that earlier, more robust gems had. Apparently, the more resources Homeworld has at their disposal, the better or more capable gem they can produce. So it does come to question, if they're having trouble finding resources and making gems, why would Yellow Diamond be so quick to scoff at Earth? Have they exhausted all the resources? Or no, Rose fought him off, but I guess it just comes into question, wouldn't at least one of the diamonds play with the idea of going back to Earth and mining resources there again?
It's probable that Yellow Diamond sees the rebellion as kind of like a black mark on her, like, record, and would like to see the destruction. Oh, that was a click. Yeah. And would like to see the destruction of Earth and the acquisition of a new super weapon as a kind of what loss on Earth? What's Earth? What even is an Earth? So I guess Peridot turning on Yellow Diamond due to the Yellow Diamond not caring about resources is a bit in character. Well, now we know it's more in character, and now the dog's staring at me. Where was I?
Here, and I'm floating in my tin can, far above the moon.
High above the world, planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do.
Something about resources and Peridot and Yellow Diamond.
Oh. It's probable that Peridot, seeing the resources on Earth, is more than likely thinking not about herself, but about future gems, in a sense of she wants the next generation to have the resources that she and her brood didn't have.
Pretty much.
It's like the what was it? There's an old, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it's like a Greek saying that says the wise man is the one who plants a tree knowing that they may never sit underneath its shade. course, with Jim's living for so long, you know, Peridot could sit under that shade.
I guess from Yellow Diamond's standpoint, her pride or her overall pride is more meaningful to her than one potentially valuable resource. Maybe she's thinking from the perspective, I can just find other planets with similar resources, or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, our Earth scientists have found a multitude of other Earth-like planets in the system, in the nearby systems. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility of Yellow Diamond and the gem and Homeworld gems finding those planets as well.
That's true. The big kicker for what led to a strong, robust gem was how much life force a given planet had, on top of the geological processes and minerals available and such too, though. Magical life force. With our powers combined, we can form Captain Planet.
All right. Oh yeah, Peridot mentioning that she used to have space internet. Oh, the cat videos that must have had.
There were three-eyed cats on there.
Although I like Peridot's first reaction to a cat video. Why was this documented?
That is a very good question.
Binks, get away from the door if you're aggravated.
Speaking of cats,
Speaking of cats. All right, I guess move on.
yep.
I forget. Avoid and Pup. Is that Brain Teaser?
Yep.
Huh. All right. Yeah, she's here. And so is Cartoon Guy, R. Powell, Sky, and I saw lots of logos and Shank.
So, who wants to ruin everybody's day by talking about the episode The New Lars?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the lesser episode. Although it brings up the immortal question, which is better, sloths or koalas?
Okay, audience, who do you think is better, sloths or koalas? Ridiculous straw poll.
I'll go with drop bears.
As for the episode itself, the most noteworthy thing is that apparently Steven's mental powers or mind powers expand to being able to transfer into other bodies, including humans. At first, it seemed like the biggest restriction was Watermelon Stevens. I assumed that connected to Steven having the ability to give them sentience or similar in the first place. That it was strictly tied to that. But then you have the mind swap come in. Fun.
Oh yeah, it is a mind swap episode.
I will give them credit. This is one of those cases where they kept the same voice actor for the character who had the mind swap happen. And Lars' voice actor did a pretty good job mimicking Steven's mannerisms, inflections, and all that fun stuff. It was fairly convincing.
And it's always nice whenever that happens.
That's the biggest highlight for the episode. Honestly, though, I have fairly strong reservations about how the episode turned out near the end. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I think Lars had every right to stand there freaking out at the idea that Steven took control of him for a day. He was pretty much pushed out of his mind. He just now learns what happens. And then both his quote-unquote friends and his parents are telling him to calm down. What really kills me is that his parents just overlook the fact that Steven blatantly announces that he swapped brains with Lars. And this doesn't faze him one bit. They don't even stop to consider this for a couple of minutes to think about what Lars is going through. What the hell? I don't care what kind of problem child Lars is. That's traumatizing.
It's probably living in Beach City for so long, they just become like disaffected by the weirdness in the city.
I guess that explains it, but still, I can't blame Lars there. That'd be traumatizing. Maybe I'm just giving this too much thought. I don't know. It's just as soon as Steven took over Lars' body, the episode became about Steven, with some insight about Lars. Ending it with...
Yeah, and then the whole like the Lars Sadie ship is still fairly afloat after the episode. And the fact that Lars is kind of like, whenever Steven's explaining what happened and what he did with Sadie, Lars is kind of genuinely can't speak right now, genuinely interested in Sadie's reactions, according to Steven. And considering the fact Sadie might actually be older, and Lars, we know, is still in high school, so he's still that awkward teenager. But yeah, I'm gonna mute for a moment.
Okie dokie. SR took off to take care of pets. That's definitely one thing to chalk up about the new Lars brain teaser. I'm just really iffy about that particular episode. It just didn't sit right with me. I'll just leave it at that. But even given decent shows, there's always going to be at least a couple of episodes that are complete duds. Doesn't matter how good the series is. Every show has at least a couple of duds. I'm just going to chalk up this particular episode to that. Will point out the pros and cons to that particular episode, though, such as the voice acting. That was pretty solid. Follow up on Steven's powers. The episode is worth watching for that at the very least, and going to move on from this one. And moving on to Beach City Drift, since there's been a couple of people discussing that Steven hates Kevin in the comments and such. Beach City Drift. So pretty much Tokyo Drift and Beach City, with Kevin as your big contender and the crown champion of drag racing for Beach City's teenagers. Steven and Connie both hold a big grudge against Kevin. Though surprisingly, Steven is the one who shows us in a more pronounced way. When Kevin rolls in, driving up to Greg's car wash, and starts showing this entitled brat type mentality. Wash my car, old man! I'm cooler than you. So just this attitude he's wreaking, just looking at Steven's face, his furrowed brows, just how he's getting angrier and angrier. His grudge against this guy is pronounced. He would throw down if he were able to. He is ready to throw down and tear this guy's shit up. Sky, that's definitely a pretty good point to bring up. It's pretty hard to get on Steven's bad side. Kevin managed to do it.
Yeah, to quote Code Mint, "Oh, now you're on my shit list." Although I like Greg's little moments where Kevin drives off and he's like, "Wait, you forgot to..." Who cares? I'm rich.
Well, that's the best reaction to have.
And then Kevin's reaction to Steven and Connie, it's like, wait a minute. I think I remember you. Or no, he react later to Stevani. It's like, don't think that your 2 kids in a trench coat routine will work on me a second time.
That was... Oh, God. It's kind of disturbing to think about that.
First time I watched that episode, as soon as Kevin started telling his sob story, like, even before he even finished it, I'm just like, liar!
Of course he's lying! The way he was delivering that was a bit too on the nose for a Steven Universe character revealing their more sensitive side or backstory or something.
Although I am kind of weirded out by the fact that even though I'm going to assume that they have their car windows up, that they can hear each other clearly.
That is odd.
I mean,
do they have superhuman hearing or something? Or
I mean, unless they have like walkie-talkies or something, or like a phone. But I doubt that Steven or Steven and Connie would have the right kind of phone.
Cartoon Guy, in regards to why Steven had such a grudge against Kevin, when he and Connie were Stevani, they were pretty much sharing a mind and consciousness. I think he was so upset with Kevin because he came across as this giant sleazeball. He kept making moves on her. He just oozes smug and disrespect, and just he goads people on just to get a rise out of them. He has this attitude or just sleaziness to him that, dare I compare him to Marty?
Yeah, Kevin would be a more successful Marty. Although, speaking of Stevani, one of the songs I have that I almost always sing whenever it shuffles through my iPod is the Giant Woman song. And the line towards the end where Steven's like, but if it were me, I'd really like to be a giant woman. And so he fuses with Connie, and what he is. I mean, he's not a giant woman, but he's taller than what he is.
That poses an interesting question. As Steven and Connie get taller, does that mean that Stevani could potentially get taller as well?
Maybe. I mean, if they combine their ages, I mean, if they're technically well, I guess they're not combining their ages, but if, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to put Stevani on like a late teens, early 20s scale.
That'd be pretty apt. So does that mean as they get older, Stevani is going to look like an old lady with successive fusions? I'll stop.
Probably, although we'll have to know whenever Steven gets older, or as he ages. Although, actually, now that I think about that, I like the little joke. Well, I don't think it was a joke, but there was a line in the episode Too Short to Ride where Steven said, like, when they get rejected for the roller coaster, Steven mentions, well, I guess we'll just have to do something else and hope we grow at the end of the season. Which I instantly was like, of your lives.
That Wander joke. The Wander joke that never gets old.
Yeah, someone mentioning that hopefully Wander gets a season 3, and one of the opening lines is, boy, sure glad that we defeated Dominator and we get yet another season of our lives.
I like how every time one of the characters says that, they look right at the camera, too.
It's like, well, yeah. That obvious tongue-in-cheek fourth wall breaking moment. Because, I mean, really, how often does someone refer to a large chunk of their lives as a season? Or an episode? Also, brain teasers like, raise your hand if you're greatly amused by Kevin's tantrum at the end.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, great. Now I'm just thinking of Kevin persistently trying to find Stefani again.
Maybe he grows a snidely whiplash mustache, and he kind of shows up every so often and says, I am going to cause general disarray and mischief. Where are you, Stefani? I will get my comeuppance.
Where are those kids in that trench coat? I must know.
I hate to say it, but if Kevin ended up becoming that kind of villain, yeah, I have a soft spot for those kinds of stupid villains.
Yeah, our pal suggestion of Kevin and Jasper teaming up.
No. I'm sorry. No.
Crossing that off. Crossing that off. All right.
Well, one last note on Beach City Drift. At least Steven and Connie found some kind of peace of mind and got over the grudge against Kevin. Somebody brought up that even Marty didn't get on Steven's bad side.
Kind of. He kind of did, because when Marty first showed up, Steven's like, your crummy old manager? I'll protect you, Dad.
That's true.
Don't worry, Steven. I have a hose.
Probably would have had a much bigger grudge against Marty if he'd seen Marty in action up front or something like that.
I think it's that Greg's content with his life. He's got a pretty decent job. He's got a son. He lives on a beach. Bright sunny day. Don't cost nothing. Oh, well. Move on, I guess.
Okay. After Beach City Drift, Restaurant Wars.
Oh, we get a bit more. Okay, first, biggest shocker. Ronaldo actually had a girlfriend.
When did this happen, Steven Universe writers? Why didn't you bring it up on screen? You know, are you trying to drive shippers crazy with secret off-screen ships?
I think they were trying to sink the Ronaldo Paradox ships.
Shots fired.
Although, it's like, wait, who are you? And then someone brings up that she's the theater girl from the Lion 2 straight to video. or Lion 2 the movie.
It's the first time we saw her show an emotion other than apathy or slight surprise.
And the fact that she's also an anime fangirl completely makes her, well, I don't know, Ronaldo and her being total weebs together.
Him crying out, Hime-sama, or something after. What was it?
My Hime-sama!
I felt so sorry for Ronaldo. That's actually one of the biggest points of contention I'd have for that episode. I remember discussing this episode with somebody else, and they brought up Steven was surprisingly cavalier about Ronaldo being brokenhearted, crying over losing his girlfriend, and just, dude, how can he come up with the plan and just brush up? Ronaldo has a freaking girlfriend. She broke up with him on the spot, and that just got kind of swept under the rug. Sort of,
I think Steven was probably thinking of the big picture, like trying to save Beach City from this restaurant war. I think that was his top priority. So it would be nice to see like a follow-up episode with Ronaldo and Jane.
Same here.
As
Actually,
Steven,
in this...
Ugh.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's just Steven going, oh, that's right. I messed up your relationship. I'll fix it.
Let's just hope there's no more mind swap shenanigans.
True. Although, I like the fact that Jane was returning like Koala Princess or My Koala Princess anime DVD. And the fact Ronaldo has Heelys.
Speaking of that DVD she was holding, I used to have an otaku buddy, and I swear what got him to win over the gal he was hitting on for a while there was some anime that was really similar to that. I could swear it was really similar to that. It had the same cutesy characters, motif, and everything.
Yeah, but with the more recent anime releases for, I think, this past season or two, it could be a reference to those kind of like mindless anime.
Pretty much. I am not the most well-versed on anime. I'll just say that right now.
I just watch the ones that I think are good.
Same here.
Yeah. Although Steven's like smug little attitude whenever he started a restaurant. Clearly magic was used. Can I get some ketchup for these fries? Sorry, sir. No additions, substitutions. Can't have ketchup without fries. The ketchup is inside the fries. Ugh, that means those fries can't travel. Oh, and Kofi was wanting to brand Steven.
I don't want to know what's going through that fellow's mind. I really don't. Somebody else can play armchair psychologist with Kofi. Because I'm not going to do it. I dare somebody to write an analytical post about why Kofi was trying to brand people with that iron. If you can come up with a convincing or compelling reason, I will make you a picture for free. I will stand by this. Write this specifically about Kofi and spam my inbox with it.
Yeah, but I guess Kofi's kind of an extreme personality. Like, Fryman's kind of relaxed and laid back enough to give Steven fry bits, while Kofi's more straight-laced and more strict to the rules. All right.
That's kind of interesting to think about. A pair of complementary opposites living next door. One sells pizza, the other sells fries.
The original Odd Couple.
Pretty much. I wouldn't mind seeing an episode with just Kofi and Bryman. Or Bryman.
Although I like Petey in that pizza costume. Don't look at me, Steven. All right. So
So the biggest point about Restaurant Wars, apparently Ronaldo has a girlfriend. And he's
had a girlfriend.
Had a girlfriend. And he has a somewhat redeemable side.
Mahime-sama.
All right, moving on from poor Ronaldo. Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service.
It did not turn out the way I thought it was.
Same here. I could have sworn they might have had Kiki dress up in a Kiki's Delivery Service cosplay and set up her own pizza delivery service or something for some reason or another.
And that's probably why they titled it that way. Make everyone think that. Although the whole message of the episode it's good. A lot more people need to actually know it. Like it's okay to say no every once in a while.
Yeah. That's a continually difficult message or thing to learn, it seems like.
And then there was an Evangelion reference, and as soon as I saw it, I'm just like, that's a reference to something, but I can't put my finger on it.
Sitting casually on the shore, looking out at a bunch of towering, looming pizzas.
And then Kiki's apparent ideal of a day off is her jogging along the beach.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, true. It's been a while since I've been on a beach, but I would kind of prefer just lazing about either on the sand or in the water. Yeah, cartoon guy drawing comparisons to Steven and Princess Luna and Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service.
Pretty much, both have the power to sneak in other people's dreams and help them out or interact with them. That was the biggest standout about that particular episode. That is so freaking cool, and I hope they follow up on that.
Although the fact that Steven was becoming physically drained based off of it, that's a bit of an interesting one, because you'd think that because he's technically sleeping, so why would he be tired? Unless, of course, due to the power, he's asleep, but his body's still producing his body's still working and using the energy he would be normally obtained from sleeping by hopping into Kiki's dream. Jenny's the other one. By hopping into Kiki's dream and helping her. How do you get tired in a dream? The dream has to be really exhausting. And it all depends on the circumstances and the subject in which you are, what is happening. For instance, are you doing something that's incredibly tiring? Is it emotionally exhausting? Is it physically exhausting? Is it terrifying because i.e. nightmares? But I don't know. It's been a while since I've studied dreams.
In Steven's case, I'd say it's a mix between really tapping into and channeling his power, as well as this is pretty much a nightmare for Kiki. There's probably a lot of stress, tension, and frustration attached to this. The reason it kept recurring was because her subconscious was trying to get her to realize you need to tell your sister no. You need to take some me time. A lot of that was a high tension and frustration on Kiki's part, combined with Steven using his powers to enter that realm in the first place. It came easily when he was first in. It came fairly easily and readily when he was first interacting with the Lapis or when he does a mind transfer. But I think if there's other emotions involved, actually thinking about it, Steven's powers are connected to his emotions. He is a very empathetic person. He probably felt a lot of sympathy for Kiki, felt the same high tension and stress that she was, and that probably factored in too.
True. Yes, Stephen more than likely was taking all the weight of Kiki's nightmare, which emotionally drained him, which then translated into physically draining him.
Oh yeah.
Cartoon guy talking about that one theory that Steven's dream powers possibly being able to heal corrupted gems.
Let's use that as a way to jump into discussing Monster Reunion.
Yes, Monster Reunion, the episode that made everyone cry, I guess.
I wanted to burst into tears.
Cry and hate the diamonds.
I wanted to burst into tears as soon as it seems like Centipede got more and more upset the more she remembered about her past and revealed to Steven, and then just that desperate rush to get to her old ship and Steven trying to help her out, and just I wanted to cry.
Yeah, hopefully Steven finds a way to fully heal her.
I don't know if he will. It seemed like she did come back to some clarity of mind from Pearl's comment that she was able to write legibly, and then her being able to visibly play a game of charades, or rather some kind of Pictagory thing, and reveal her past clearly to Steven, despite the language barrier. That's pretty impressive for what kind of clarity of mind she has. But as for coming back fully from being a corrupted gem, I'm kind of skeptic about that.
Well, since she still remembered Steven after reverting back to the centipedal form and didn't attack him or the other gems, that's probably a small sign of hope. Let's see. Oh, the one note I have for this episode. I really should have more. Oh well. The theory I have that the large blast the centipedal remembers, I'm theorizing it possibly came from the moon base.
Huh.
And I'm probably sure that one white circle moon thing that Garnet was like, it's not what we're here for, that probably has something to do with it. In fact, that could probably be what the that could probably be the plot of the upcoming episode Back to the Moon.
Oh, by the way, added brain teaser to the call.
Ah. All right,
Hey, Brain Teaser, what's up with all the static?
I am not 100% sure. I'm currently just trying to turn off my webcam.
Oh, okay.
I might need to move to my room to get a better connection. I have no idea. But anyways, hi!
Aloha.
All right, getting back to the interesting theory about Blue Diamond's moon base or message from the moon.
Well, BRB, I'm gonna turn a light on in this room. It's getting kind of dark.
Okie dokie.
Oh, I'm getting all the hives. It's so cute. Happy.
Yes.
Frankly, I'm just happy I was able to make it before my new favorite episode was discussed. Happy child. This is
I'm
very
assuming
happy.
Greg the babysitter. Unfortunately, we gotta dredge through Alone at Sea first.
You're fine. I don't care. As long as I got here before it. Yes.
I have been dreading that one the entire time. Centipedal I can get through because that's just...
That's because Centipedal is a pure cinnamon roll.
Yeah, she got a
did nothing
happy
wrong.
ending. She got a hopeful, happy ending, which I like.
Which I kind of theorized that, okay, before the episode we need to, or what was it? Which one was it that was Ruby and Sapphire's backstory?
The answer?
Yeah, before that episode came out, I kind of theorized that Rubies were kind of like miners since Garnet has that heat resistance. So I thought Rubies would have the heat resistance. They could mine down into the other planetary cores and stuff, and fix any drills that might be stuck or something. But now I'm thinking, since Centipedal said that, well, not said, but drew, that she and her crew came to Earth and started building. I'm thinking Centipedal's gem race might be the builders, whilst, similar to how the Pearls are servants, Paradots are probably IT, Quartzes are usually warriors, Rubies are usually foot soldiers and bodyguards. Like Rose said in Greg and the Babysitter, every gym knows what they're supposed to do.
You see, that line's just kind of making me think of back in Young Justice when they're referring to the xenomorphs that were filling Superboy in Match's mind with memories and stuff. That was just double creep. Double creepy.
In regards to the moon-based message thingamaboop, want to follow up on that real quick?
Moonbase.
Yeah.
Oh. The episode or the theory?
The theory.
Oh. Well, it's possible that... Okay, so whilst the gem war was going on, it's probable that White Diamond probably built that super weapon on the planetary moon to try and effectively nuke the rebel gems, in a sense, but the gems ended up corrupted. And taking consideration Greg's line to Steven that Rose was only able to save a handful of her friends. Yeah.
And we're seeing one of the results of what happened to the gems that got caught in that aftermath. Oh, God.
I guess we've already seen most of the gems, like all the other gem monsters are the gems that are both crystal gems and homeworld gems that got caught in the blast.
Who knows how many of them have gotten bubbled or if there's any others still running around.
Well, the next 2 weeks are apparently called Gem Hunt. So I guess we're going back to the gem monsters.
Back to the Monster of the Week format, everybody.
Which I wouldn't mind. I've kind of been wondering about the gem monsters. It's like, okay, so Are they still out there? Did they get all of them? Why haven't they been hunting them?
All good questions. I wonder if we're going to get a montage.
You do it in a montage. Montage. A workout montage.
It's going to be interesting seeing follow-up on Steven using his healing powers on other corrupted gems. I wonder how many could reach the same clarity of mind as what Centipedal did.
Well, Steven had a bit more help considering he had already bonded with Centipedal a bit.
That's true. The others are going to be a bit harder of a sell.
Also, kind of found it, at first I found it a bit odd that Garnet would tell Amethyst to bubble or to poof Centipedal, but taking into consideration that Amethyst more than likely wouldn't have known any of them personally. Amethyst wouldn't have any like emotional connection to any of the gem monsters, similar to what Garnet or Pearl would have, kind of like what we've seen in the preview with Bismuth. So it's probably Garnet choosing Amethyst to poof Centipedal as kind of like a, I know I don't, and I know Pearl wouldn't want to hurt any of our friends, so you're the only other choice, since I know Steven's not going to. Yeah.
They were seeing it as a necessary evil kind of thing, from what I could tell. They were kind of skeptic as to whether or not Steven could have a meaningful or drastic impact on Centipedal. They wanted to be prepared for the worst possible outcome.
Although if there's any other gem monsters that we've seen so far attempted to be healed, I wonder which one would be next, or at least which one would just we all like to try and see.
Which one's on your list?
Well, there's the desert glass, but we never actually seen a monster for it.
Definitely curious to see follow-up on that. I'll just be brutally honest. I don't remember all the corrupted gem beasts. I don't remember all of them.
I'll do a quick wiki. Like I can, one of my useless memory abilities is I can just see an episode title, a brief thing, and I'll be like, oh, that's right, that's what happened in the episode. I'll just look up the episodes real quick.
Alrighty.
Alright. Gem Glow, that's the one with Centipedal. Laser Light, that's a red light. Cheeseburger, bent, no. Together, no. Fried, no. Caffeine. Bubble Buddies had that one large orange glow-eating sea monster.
Okay, I'm definitely curious about that one.
Sirius Steven had that one white diamond-looking gem in that maze, in that strawberry battlefield.
Strawberry fields forever. I'll need to rewatch that episode. I don't remember all the details for it. I'll keep an eye out for that particular gem beastie.
Let's see. Giant Woman had that giant bird.
There's quite a few.
Yup.
One just came to mind. There was that one invisible bipedal creature in the Lars and Sadie Make Out Island episode.
Damn!
That's what it is! It's a pretty apt description.
More lardy fodder. Yay.
That's probably the one that It's like the ship was already there, but it's the one that sailed most of them.
Pretty much.
It's the giant
It's the
pufferfish.
proof, I tell you.
The giant pufferfish in the episode Beach Party.
Okay. Jim, Glowfish, and Giant Invisible Man are on my list. Or rather, Giant Invisible Woman, my bad.
The Island Adventure episode. Yeah, the Mask Jim.
Lars and Sadie Island Makeout Adventure episode. That's what it should be called.
We'll just say that's its Tumblr name.
Whatever,
That's the episode's Tumblr name.
whatever Jim Garnet was facing in the episode Garnet's Universe.
Assuming that actually happened, all things considered.
Well, she had a gym, so.
Fair.
But it's like, so, is that what happened? No. Like, really, Garnet?
No.
Well, we got Bismuth coming, first introduced in Line 3, straight to video. Which, that was kind of a emotional message from Rose.
Oh, yeah. All the feels.
I think that's pretty much the... Well, there's that one ice monster from Monster Buddies.
Okay, so definitely have a lot of corrupted gyms that would like to see some follow-up on. Probably not going to see extensive follow-up, but maybe we'll get a montage.
The blue diamond-looking thing that's in the lighthouse from the episode Horror Club.
Ooh.
And I think that's pretty much one of the last ones, because after that, you got Winter Forecast, Maximum Capacity, Marble Man. I think they started focusing with Peridot and Homeworld.
Peridot and her Inspector Gadget routine. Inspector Gadget villain.
Doo-doo-doo, Inspector Gadget, doo-doo-doo.
I'll get you next time, Crystal Gems.
Oh, damn, that was good.
Yeah, but it's a rough voice on the throat.
I'm sure it is.
It's like, hell, my Kragthar is a lot easier than Dr. Claw.
Dr. Zaius.
Oh my god.
Random reference. I've been watching a lot of Simpsons lately.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. I
Alright.
love
Oh
you,
my
Dr.
god,
Zaius.
that's Simpsons.
Alright, any other comments on Monster Reunion?
Cute. That it.
I just, yeah, I hope we get to see more.
Yes.
Hopefully when Steven figures out how to heal her, he brings a whole bunch of chaps along with him.
Yes.
God, yes.
Also, now that I think about it, Garnet mentioned that the ship is the Centipedal's new bubble, but they blew a hole, or at least Peridot blew a hole in the ceiling in the control room, so they could still get out.
And do you really think they're going to cause any trouble?
Probably. It depends on how corrupted they still are.
Well, Centipede still had some clarity and peace of mind, remember? She's probably going to keep the other two in check.
Probably.
Assuming those are the only other two left.
Very true, there may be
It's
more.
not like we got to see that much.
Yeah, because we saw a whole bunch of ships. Or at least Centipede drew a whole bunch of ships.
Oh.
Alright. Going to
Yeah.
move on to the big hot button topic one. Alone at Sea.
I'd like to
Dun dun dun!
Lightning Crush.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's been going in my mind the entire time before this. I have been dreading this one because there's such polarizing opinions surrounding this one.
I'd just like to mention, I love the fact that the ship's name is the SS Misery.
Before it got redubbed Lil Lappy.
It is a perfect metaphor for Lapis's life.
Pretty much.
Actually, the reason it made me giggle is because I felt Jasper was very Annie-esque when she got onto the ship. She was just very creepy and very, looks about ready to hold a hammer up.
Oh, yeah. Jasper was wreaking all sorts of desperate here.
Although I have to bring up the question, Jasper says, I've been following you. Does this mean that Jasper's been jumping onto random ships looking for Lapis?
I hope not, because you're going to have lots of fishermen having nightmares about a big orange Cheeto Puff woman jumping onto their ship saying, I've been looking for you!
Where is Lapis? Yellowtail could take her.
Where is Isaiah?
Is it bad that I kind of want to see Yellowtail versus Jasper now?
Oh God, help us all. Oh, criminy.
The underlying point...
Ronaldo had no chance to get the gems, but Yellowtail is an entirely new being.
The entire point for Alone at Sea was to, well, yeah, discuss the down points and, well, just giving a message about the nuances and difficulties of an abusive relationship. I'll just go ahead and say this right now. Both Jasper and Lapis were at fault to some degree here. They were both abusers in their own right. Jasper was manipulative. She was trying to coerce or seduce, or rather, she was trying to convince Lapis to come back to what was obviously an unstable relationship. And then Lapis liked projecting all of her anger and frustration onto Jasper. Both were guilty of something in this particular relationship. You can argue the points all you want. They're both at fault for something.
Yeah, and then Lapis knowing and then rejecting that her relationship with Jasper was bad, and then the fact that she didn't just go back to Jasper is nice. That Lapis was like, you know what? No.
It's good that she put her foot down. It means that more of her character development from this point on is going to be a lot more positive. She's going to start making strides forward and finally finding some kind of peace of mind. As for Jasper, that's still kind of up in the air. I'm kind of hoping Jasper can sit down and talk to somebody who can give her some kind of grounding or really make her realize just how demented the state of mind is. Maybe Garnet would be the right person for her to talk to here.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to mention any leaks or anything, but I'm just probably going to... So I'm going to go with a different theory I have, which is more along the lines of, I think Jasper is one homeworld gem that Steven can't save.
Yeah.
Although something I'd like to mention is the fact that Lapis, after her deciding to live on Earth, she's pretty much the gloomy, emo teen character, the Sasuke of the group. And I love the fact that even despite that, that part of her personality, she enjoys a good fart joke or two.
Just a second, Brain Teaser randomly got kicked. Going to see if I just posed another invitation. She'll excuse me. She'll be back momentarily. I think. Oh, hey, Brain Teaser. I'll just be brutally honest. I don't really want to spend too much more time discussing this particular episode. Thank God the main major points covered.
Although, yeah, and the only other thing I'm going to mention is I like the fact that I made the I made the same joke Greg made later at the end of the episode. I guess the ship was sinking. I'm just like, well, it looks like that boat rental became a boat purchase. And then Greg said the same thing. I'm just like, hey.
Yeah. Poor Greg. God.
It's like, I may be made of money right now, but buying a boat would just be going overboard. Hey.
Ugh.
Like, I don't think we've met before. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm Greg.
I'm the older version of the Fonz. Nice to meet you. Hopefully,
Yep.
Steven Universe will not be jumping the shark anytime soon.
And if they do, Lapis can get any other species can get any species of shark they want.
Oh my God. All right, going
Although
to
I'd
move
like to
on.
see Lapis's reaction to Greg's new album art.
Oh yeah. Is that supposed to be me?
Looks awesome. Which I like the fact that Greg's art skills got really better. I mean, when you compare his one album he gave to Rose, Space Train to the Cosmos, you compare that art to Water Witch. It's like, yeah, his art really got good, or well, or great. Trying to find the right word, or grammar correct sentence. Yeah. Audio issues. Sucks.
God, I need to invest in more audio-visual stuff for classes. Or look up Google Hangout troubleshoot stuff and junk. Stuff and junk and things.
Stuff and junk and things and everything. I don't know where I was going with that. All right. Let's see. Did I write anything down about Greg the babysitter? I have no notes on it.
All right. Guess we're going to tentatively transition into Greg the babysitter.
Hopefully, Brain Teaser's audio gets resolved for that.
I want to hang in there for a couple of minutes to see if we can get Brain Teaser up and running.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, that's episode 12. Okay. Seen it.
Jasper might be a fusion whore. Oh, no. No. That'd be an apt description. I just don't want to think about it. I really don't.
Yellow Diamond comes to Earth. There's Jasper running across the field. Fusion!
Fuse with me, my leader!
She just
And the
turns
entire-
to she
the
just
entire
turns to the
time-
crystal gems. Is like, what did you done to her?
And the entire time Jasper's running, she's doing that complex salute.
Yeah, the diamond one, which actually kind of hurts.
Hey, Brain Teaser, is audio working?
Where's my storyboard paper? There it is.
Damn it. What are you doing, Google Hangouts? What? God, this is so freaking limited and just... I can't troubleshoot this and just... Ah!
Work, Google, damn it, work.
Guess it doesn't feel like it. Oh, I don't know. I don't want the cameraman app. No. Damn it. Almost half tempted to close this instance out and start up an entirely new one. And that one will just be specifically Greg the babysitter.
Like in either like a next one or like a immediate after.
Yeah.
The second one or the first one?
Huh? Sorry.
Second one or the first one? The immediate after?
Yeah, probably going to end this one and start up a new instance immediately after this one. And it's going to be called Greg the Babysitter. So keep an eye out for that.
Alright.
Alright. Thank you for joining in, everybody. Going to be back in a few minutes. Going to see if we can iron out some troubleshooting and stuff, then come back to discuss the Greg the Babysitter episode. Going to iron out some technical issues. Alright. So, bye, everybody.
Aloha.